Let's freaking react to this trailer. I have not seen it yet.
I'm excited to see how you react to this.
My brother gave his life hunting the enemy. His task is now mine.
Speak your truth. We already know.
Stand with me. Ours was no chance meeting.
Search your mind.
Not fate,
It's written in gold.
nor destiny. Ours was the work of something greater.
Don't say no. Let it unfold out. And we'll take the red race.
Oh, are those supposed to be wargs?
I don't know.
Everyone must decide who we shall be.
Still your mind.
I am not the hero you seek.
Oceans below.
Whatever it was you did, be free of it.
One day this will be your kingdom.
Raise your sail. And then let go.
Choose not the path of fear.
That's a pretty cool shot. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
yeah. I mean, all these shots are cool. It doesn't.
One thing we can do, better than any creature in all Middle Earth, we stay true to each other with our hearts even bigger in our feet.
Circus?
No.
We can survive this. You and I.
Commander! Wait! No! We keep moving!
Why do you keep fighting?
There is a tempest in me.
You have fought long enough, Galadriel. Put up your sword.
Without it, what am I to be?
What's up with the music? First off, that is
Yeah.
not like. Let's just pause it right there. That's not Lord of the Rings music.
Yeah, that part.
The
I think I
soundtrack
saw
threw
a
me off.
comment. I think I saw a comment under the video when I watched it first, and I was like, "This. I hope this is not the music that's in the show, because it sounds nothing like Lord of the Rings." And music is a huge part of, I mean, any kind of TV show, movie, anything that you
It
had,
sets the tone. It sets the tone immediately, and so I can understand why they might not want to follow strictly in Lord of the Rings footsteps. But the tone was already set with Lord of the Rings. Like you can't then go back and The Hobbit. I mean, The Hobbit still had a good soundtrack, even though we're not
Yeah, it did.
huge fans of it. You can't then go turn around and completely change the vibe of and the tone of said Middle Earth. You know, it
Yeah.
sounded like 50 Shades of Grey music. Like it sounded like Kygo, dude.
Yeah, it
I mean,
was.
it sounded like love making music. It was weird.
I don't understand, like, what's all right. If you're gonna do a show at the scale that Middle Earth deserves, I think you go with a orchestral kind of sound.
Yeah, like a lot of organs,
like
and
huge band, like a huge orchestra. That way, in a big room, that way you can get that kind of like really big
because it's so
feeling.
big. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good point. I don't think of music that way, but that because the world is so big, and so I don't even know how to properly put it into words because there's really no words, but it's just bigger than you. You need to have a larger than life feeling and sound behind it. So yeah, I guess I don't even know if like an orchestra. I don't know how what you. I guess orchestral is that even a word?
orchestral.
Orchestral.
Yeah. Right.
Well, and
What
is
do you
this
think
here?
about?
What is that? Is that a Hobbit?
I think it is. Yeah.
They look like fairies. They look like
So a gripe I've heard with this, with the, of course that's not a Hobbit, but a gripe I've heard with the show is that hobbits, and they've said this, um, is that they're supposed to be nomadic in this show,
yeah. I don't know. I
and
mean, I guess
that
there's
goes
different.
against literally everything I've ever heard about a Hobbit.
Yep.
I'm not a master of lore. I'm gonna be honest. There's so much stuff I don't know about Lord of the Rings, but from someone who has read, I've read the first book. I haven't gone on to read the other two, or in a long time. I read them, but it's been a long time, so I don't really remember. But from what I hear about the hobbits, and you gotta understand, a lot of these people who are watching this show have never seen or have never read the books, so it's kind of like really weird to see them not act like hobbits.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know.
I'm gonna be fair to the show writers and creators, and to be fair, the hobbits don't really keep up with history that much. Like they know, um, they're really big on names and namesake, but the history isn't super deep. They don't know much past X amount. Same with anybody in Middle Earth. It seemed like if you go back and read The Hobbit, you go back and read uh, the Fellowship, but The Hobbit specifically because I just read that. Um, People at Lake Town, they it was only a couple of generations back that Smaug was prevalent, and they're like, oh no, that's a fairy tale.
There's actors and actresses, or there's an actress that has come out, um, that is in the Rings of Power, and talks about inclusivity and, you know,
I'm
representation in the show and all that. And all right, that is fine. You can it doesn't, all right, that's fine. The problem is when that takes precedent over everything else. And I
Yeah,
haven't watched the show,
don't
so
force
I can't.
that.
I don't
Like,
know
don't
if
force that issue. Don't try to plug that into something that doesn't need to be plugged into. You cast how it's meant to be cast. Don't cast with political correctness lens on, like, oh
yeah.
well, we have to be equal opportunity. Like if that said person is the best fit for that role, then yes, cast them. They might have chose the correct people for these as far as casting goes for these roles, but I mean, it does seem like they are pushing females a lot more in this show, and that's fine. I love a good strong female lead, but not when it's kind of like they're forced into a masculine role. Like I hope, what's her name? The main character.
Galadriel.
Galadriel, sorry, it escaped me. I hope because she's meant to be the most beautiful being like of all Middle Earth, and I hope they don't take her femininity or feminine nature. I don't even know if that's
Femininity. Femi-
femininity,
it doesn't matter.
anonymity.
We understand.
Her feminine nature away from her because that's what made her so great, and that's what makes her so powerful. Like I don't like when they try to force, and this gets into a whole another issue, but I don't like when they force like a masculine nature on these females what their power is them being a female and being feminine.
Just if you make a good show, no one cares.
Yep.
That is literally it. Just make a good show and no one cares. But something I do want to kind of talk about is
Well,
the
it's not a
way
good sign when the actors are already talking about, oh, I'm proud of this because we're pushing inclusivity.